Hello everyone, this is Suzanne at The Gospel Truth. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, and it's a beautiful day here in Rochester, Michigan. Ron and I just got back from a walk with our dog, Sam, and the weather is just gorgeous. We do have to leave. It's 11:48 right now, and we're leaving about 12:35 to go to our physical therapy appointment, which will be good because I really need it today. All right, the last time we spoke, we were still working out of the book, Keep the Faith, by Dr. David Jeremiah, How to Stand Strong in a World Turned Upside Down. And we definitely need that today. And when we last left off, Paul was talking about a bridge that Christ has built. And we're going to see what precisely those bridges are. They are attitudes about our lives and our trials. The attitudes of the world lead to a dead end. The attitude on these bridges take us to a whole new world. We realize that there is purpose to our pain. God is up to something, and it's always something very good, something worth cherishing hope for. We begin to trust, putting our eyes on Him rather than on our struggles. Having done that, we find ourselves walking one tentative step, then another. We hear the echoes of our footsteps beneath us on the bridge. We move into that mist, and then we begin to make out the shapes that lie on the other side, shapes of maturity, of wisdom, of new strength and new service to God. Now, that is so very true. As I was walking with Sam and Ron this morning, it was one step after another. My knees were hurting, and I had to struggle through the pain. But as we got back home, in my mind, I can look back and say, I did it. It was worth the struggle. Sometimes I don't think it's worth the struggle, but it always is. And I need to remind myself, and we need to remind ourselves of that. Before we know it, we're not thinking of our infirmities at all. We realize we have what we need. We can keep the faith. John Newton experienced great loss on this side of the bridge. He had hoped with all his heart that he would precede his wife to the grave. But it became clear that his beloved Mary was growing weaker every day. This was surely the ultimate test of his faith, for he had an abiding love for her after many years of marriage. Having been married for 22 years, he wrote her a letter that said, "Every room where you are not present looks unfurnished." I can certainly understand that. When my previous husband passed away, he didn't survive heart surgery, and it was true. As I emptied each room when I was getting ready to move, I was leaving a piece of my heart behind. And it was difficult. Every room where you are not present looks unfurnished, and it certainly did for a long time. One day, he was confronted with the prospect of living out his life in unfurnished rooms. Newton's friends worried about him. They couldn't imagine how he could handle life without Mary by his side. The Christian should be hard-pressed, not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. Would Newton have that demanding level of spiritual maturity? It does take a level of spiritual maturity in a lot of things. A lot of times we hear people say, I don't know how you do it. And that person probably has a high level of spiritual maturity. They have a better understanding of the knowledge of the scriptures. On the day of Mary's death, Newton preached at the regular service time. The next day, he visited parishioners, and finally he preached the sermon at her funeral. Did he grieve? Of course he did, powerfully. He later wrote, "The Bank of England is too poor to compensate for such a loss as mine. But the Lord, the all-sufficient God, speaks, and it is done. Let those who know Him and trust Him be of good courage. He can give them strength according to their day. He can increase their strength as their trials increase. And what he can do, he has promised that he will do. Newton had tried that bridge and found it would bear his weight. As a matter of fact, the grace of God has limitless strength. Every single one of us can trust our very lives to it. It has never failed, and it never will. His grace is sufficient no matter what we may be facing right now. His grace will lead us through every trial imaginable until we begin to look upon one another and see not ourselves, but the image of Christ himself, our hope, our refuge, our goal. On that day, you and I will look back upon these earthly anxieties with hearts of loving gratitude. Troubles are very real, but in the light of his presence, they somehow fade away into the mist. And when we're going through things in life, of course, it isn't pleasant at the time, and a lot of times it hurts, a lot of tears fall. But if we can keep our eyes on Christ and know that the struggling is going to serve a purpose, and we can use our struggling and our pain to edify the Lord, that we know that no matter how long that road looks ahead of us, God is with us every step of the way. We may not understand some of God's decisions. Most assuredly, we're not going to. One of the biggest questions is, why doesn't God just take all the suffering away? And I've heard answers that say, well, if he did that, what need would we have of God? And a person left to themselves is a very dangerous person. A person that has no direction in their life, no morals, no values. Very dangerous ground to be on, be treading upon. A person that thinks they don't need God. Not good at all. All right, we're going to stop here today. I know this is a short video today. I want us to kind of think about what we've read today. And I like back here where it says, and then we begin to make out the shapes that lie on the other side. Remember this. Just gone across that painful bridge, but we look behind us. We maybe go, oh, like that. Shapes of maturity, of wisdom, of new strength and new service for God. The troubles we go through can be a stepping stone to help other people meet them in their crisis and encourage them to what they're going through, because we keep reaching a level of maturity in our struggles in life. And God's grace is sufficient. And I think we have to, I think that's kind of the theme through the book here. We must always remember that. All right, next time when we come on, we will talk about the power of perseverance. There is power in perseverance. All right, that's it for our devotional today. I am so excited. I want to share something with you. I actually started working on my knitting machine. I'm doing a little bit each day, and I'm making a hat. It's going to be in orange and yellow and white like candy corn. I'm making that my fall hat. So I've been working on it a little bit every day. I'm going to have to go back and review some videos on how to quick finish it off, because I haven't done it for over a year. And I'm making myself do a little bit every day around the house. Like, I want to go through all those movies back there, and I got a lot of books I'm going to be going through and getting rid of. My daughter knows some place that you can take them and they buy books and movies from you. So it's just time to do some fall cleaning. Just kind of getting rid of some of the junk. You know, we accumulate all these things all our life, and then one day you sit around and look and go, okay, why? At the time, it seemed so important to get this. And this is an example right here. This is a little snowman canister, and a cute hat comes off. You can put a gift in it. I bought this at a craft fair. It had some crocheted dishcloths, and I forgot what else was in here. But I wanted this tin. I love snowmen. And you know, now I look at it and it's like, yeah, it's cute, but it's not that, oh, well, I gotta have that. Isn't that what we do sometimes in life? We want that thing so bad, and then after you get it, you go, why did I buy that? But I don't regret buying this, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. All right. Oh, I want to show you. Ron is my cactus keeper. And he does a great job in keeping the cactus alive. This thing here, you can see it. There we go. Look at this baby. This was tiny when we got it, these cactuses. They have grown over the summer a huge amount. And all those on the tops, like this one right here, is a baby. And all these offshoots here are babies that have grown up. You got another one coming up here. You can see that little knob there. And this one here is we call them whiskers. We did have a pair of sunglasses on him. He looked really cool, but they fell off. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, we went from a small pot to this big old huge pot. Well, Ron is in charge of keeping our plants. He waters them and cares for them. And most of them are thriving. We have one that was kind of sickly from the time we got it, that just, poor little thing, is still hanging in there after a year, but, you know, we're still babying it, so we're going to see. But, yeah, our cactus is really doing good. Then, I think you saw this one. This piney guy, the little piney guy. Those pickers are sharp. Very sharp. Do you have a favorite plant that you like? A favorite flower? Let me know about it in the comments. I'd like to know if, do you have a green thumb? Or no. My mom had a green thumb. She loved to garden. She loved to plant flowers. That gene passed me. I don't mind picking the fruit, but planting it and preparing the garden, that just has no appeal to me. My sister-in-law and brother, they live on 3 acres, and for years they always had a garden. Green beans, corn, asparagus, strawberries, you name it. And a lot of canning over the years, and homemade baking bread, all that stuff. So it hit my brother, but then it skipped me. That's the way it goes, doesn't it? But I have other talents. All right, you take care. You have a blessed day in the Lord. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another great devotional. Take care.